Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Teens Biz Talk Podcast. We are so happy that you are here with us today. Just in case this is your first time joining us, Teens Biz Teens Biz Talk Podcast. I'm so excited. It's a podcast that talks with other teen entrepreneurs. They get an opportunity to talk about their business, what it is they do. They also share tips and resources for other budding teen entrepreneurs. And we have the honor to have business professionals on here also to give some information, insight, and just other suggestions for your business and life success. So that's what we are all about. If you are listening on any of our podcast platforms, please be sure to subscribe. And if you are watching us on our YouTube channel, hi, please be sure to like and subscribe here also. You do not want to miss anything that we have coming to you. So our guest today is, I'm super excited that she is here. I just know she is going to be able to share some things with you all that really apply to your life. Things that you will be able to relate to, and definitely some things that will help you come away from listening to this episode with a new view on how to live your life and how to be successful, not just in business, but also personally. So before we talk to her, though, I just want to share today's episode is being sponsored by Bateman Empowering Educators. At Bateman Empowering Educators, we take away the trial and error method of your teenager learning about money and replace it with a practical blueprint to equip them to create a 5-star financial future. So be sure to check in the description below, click on the link, and see what resources we have available for you. So today, let's get at it. We have with us none other than Miss Amy Schluter. How are you today, Miss Schluter?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I am well. So before she shares, let me just give you a little information about her. Amy is a certified life coach who is passionate about improving the lives of teens. She coaches teens on how to navigate the road of life so they can handle the bumps along the way with ease. Through self-development and discovering what is limiting them, she inspires teens to step into their full potential. When teens gain more self-awareness, discover they have new choices, and learn to look at their world in a different way, it reduces stress and creates more confidence, better communication, stronger relationships, and positive outcomes. Wow, I'm feeling good just listening to that. Man. So, okay, so we just read, right, the bio part, but is there anything else that you want to tell us about yourself? And then also just kind of what led you on this path of being a life coach?
Yeah. So thanks for having me. And I actually, I used to work in corporate. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've created a product and tried to get that launched and done a whole bunch of other businesses. I have another business besides this. So I know entrepreneurship very well. And I knew after working in corporate, I wanted to work for myself. And so I wanted to still figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up in my 40s. And so I did a lot of soul searching and I found life coaching and I thought, wow, what a wonderful way to like help people and empower people. And so I got certified and I started coaching adults. And so I coached adults for a while and I quickly realized that they held on to a lot of emotional baggage for like decades. And so I decided like, oh my gosh, like if I can just like teach the skills and the tools and work with younger people, they wouldn't have to go through all of this. They could be prepared for adult life and how to manage their emotions and reduce their stress and all the good things that you just mentioned. And so I decided to switch to coaching teens and young adults. And so I absolutely love it. I'm super passionate about it. And their teens and young adults are so smart and they just, they just open up when we coach together. So it's very rewarding.
That is great. That is great. Definitely, I've been inspired over the years, and even more so while doing this podcast, of other teen entrepreneurs that I've been able to encounter, and how they just share what's important to them, what they're working on, how they're growing. So, yes,
Yeah,
they are
it's super
great.
exciting. Yeah.
So, in your midst of coaching teens, definitely over these past couple of years, right, there's been a lot going on in our country, in our world, health wise, political wise, education wise, just family dynamics changing. What are some things that you've seen in the midst of talking with some teens, struggles that they've been maybe having, and then some ways that they were able to move through them to be better?
Yeah. And so, it's hard enough being a teen, but the last couple of years have been extra stressful for them. And I see a lot of my clients and parents I talk to, their kids all have anxiety. So teens are going through a lot of anxiety and stress right now. Part of it is obviously the world we live in, environment, but a lot of it is actually related to their academics, or sports, and doing well. And what I've found is teens really, you guys really want to do well and please your parents. And parents tend to put a lot of pressure on you too, not indirectly, or I'm sorry, not directly, but indirectly. And they want you to do well. So they're always asking you about your grades and this and that. But unfortunately, that stresses you guys out so much. And so one of the biggest things I teach my clients is when you're stressed out, it's usually about something in the past or something that's in the future. And so the biggest thing to kind of get you relieved of that stress and anxiety is to bring yourself back to the moment. Like, all you really can control is right now, what you have right now, today. So when my clients are worried about, what am I going to get on this test, or how am I going to do on the ACT or the SAT, and like they're all stressed out, I just bring them, like, what can you do today? What's a solution you can do today? So I was working with a client the other day. They were worried about the ACT they have to take in a couple weeks, and I said, what can you do today? What do you have control over? Well, I can study more. Okay, great, do that. And so it sounds so simple, but it really is just about coming up with a solution that you can work on right now, because that's all you have control over. You don't have control over the outcome. And so when you focus on only the outcome, that's going to stress you out. So you have to focus on the action that you can do right now. And that's really the biggest, most powerful thing that I hope everybody can take away today and start using.
Mm. Wow, that is great. Yeah, even for me, I'm thinking of situations even today that I've been thinking about, and you are so right. Everything is either something that happened in the past or something that's about to happen, and I'm getting concerned about it. So much of that usually starts right here.
Oh, yeah.
Right up in here.
I do the same thing when I talk about it. It's like, that your mind.
Yes, right up in our mind, in our thoughts. What are some ways that we can be better when it comes to our thinking and just our overall mindset of how things are, how they were, how they will be?
Yeah. So let me just touch on a couple of things before I answer that. So what a lot of people don't realize is that 80% of our success is up here in our mind. The other 20% is skills and strategy. So what do we focus on? The teens, parents, everybody focuses on the skills and strategy. Again, what'd you get on the test? How am I doing? Like, it's always kind of tied to that outcome,
Wow.
And so we don't focus as much on what's going on up here. And what's going on up here is that inner voice. I tell the teens it's called the robber. We call it the robber because it robs us of our full potential. Is literally our thoughts tell us stories all day long that aren't true. And unfortunately, we tend to believe a lot of them and lead our life that way, and they hold us back from living to our full potential. So this is really important in general in life, but especially in business. We can be held back a lot as entrepreneurs by our mind, right? So we really, one of the most important things as a human, and especially the entrepreneur, is to really work on your mindset. Really control those inner voices and inner thoughts, that robber, that it's just telling you a story. It doesn't mean they're true. So the first thing you can really do is acknowledge that it's happening. Like when you're feeling off or you're feeling like something is holding you back or you're stressed, take a moment and just think to yourself, okay, what's going on here? What's the thought? And once you can kind of realize, and then you got to determine, okay, the thought is true. How true is it really? Is it true or not? And so that's where you determine. And then you're like, well, it's not true. It's a lot of times we think of like the worst case scenario that probably is never going to happen, but we think about it and it holds us back because we're in fear, right? We're in fear of putting ourselves out there. So that's the thing. You have to determine acknowledge the thought, figure out if it's really true or not. And then what you want to do is change your mindset. And sometimes I just say, do the opposite. If you were going to not do something, maybe do it and get out of your comfort zone or try it. And that's, again, like we were talking about before, not being connected to an outcome. If you were never connected to an outcome, you would try so many other things. And so what's fascinating about a lot of entrepreneurs, and you can think of some big names right out there, especially in the tech world, they just use their creativity and try things and go for it, right? So when you can let go of the doubts and the fears that go on in your mind and just know that those are normal and get past those, then you can just explore and what if I could like create this thing, or what if I tried this new thing, right? And so you're letting your creativity flow and you're not letting fear hold you back. So that's super, super important, to get your mindset in check and get it in a positive, productive place.
Wow, that is great. And it's something I'm just thinking, as children, that's how we're taught in the beginning, right? We're taught use your imagination, right? We're given a pile of Legos and just told, okay, make something, right? It's not until later when we're actually, okay, here's a picture. Can you make what's on the picture? But usually it's just, go for it, play with it. But at some point, I really like what you said, not to be connected to the outcome, because at some point our mindset does shift and it's only, oh, this is only good if it looks like this, or if I can get to this particular point in life, right? Or if I can get this score on the SAT. So I do like that. Thank you for the keep in mind the what if and the what if in the positive, not the what if the negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy for us.
Right. Yeah. And the what if, like imagination, like you were saying, and often, I'm glad you brought that up, because often when you can I teach energy leadership, and that's a whole other thing, but one of the highest resonating levels of energy, I teach it to teens as it's almost like you're a child again, because you eliminate judgment and fear and you just go for things, right? Like a toddler just like will leap off the couch and not think twice about it, right? And so you're using your creativity and you're not worried about what other people think when you're little, right? You're just doing your thing. And so if you can kind of think like that, in a sense, like you were saying, that's like fantastic.
Wow. Yes. So when you, one other thing that you talked about in terms of creativity. So again, just in light of what's been going on, and even you mentioned, teens having that anxiety around schoolwork, right? And or just the whole education in of itself was just
Mhm.
completely topsy-turvy. What are some ways that teens can still explore that creativity? I know now we're getting a little bit more to being out and about, but there's still some restrictions going on with things. So what are some ways that they can kind of break away from the mundane or the day-to-day, or even while they're in the day-to-day, find those areas to be able to explore the creativity, to allow themselves to get into the what ifs?
Yeah, and again, a lot of that could be mindset because there's a lot of things we want to try, but we don't think we're good at them, or people will make
Mm,
fun of us, or what will people think?
yeah.
So I try to set those, thoughts aside and really try something new. I recently, I'll give you an example. I can barely draw a stick figure. And I thought a few months ago, you know what, I'm going to try doing a watercolor painting class, right? And it was very relaxing and I enjoyed it. My stuff didn't come out great, but I wasn't tied to an outcome. That wasn't the purpose. And so, again, letting go of that outcome, it's so important, especially for teens. Just try something new. Try, if there's something, if you're not sure of what to try, then start researching some stuff. Talk to your friend. Maybe your friend does something. You can go do something different with them. And it doesn't mean you have to love it or sign up for, a lifetime of it, but, you can just explore different things. And one of the things I really teach teens is, we know social media is a big thing. We know having technology is a big thing. It's your lifeline. Totally get that. But you also deserve to give yourself a break and give yourself some self-care and put the electronics away by choice and try something else. Listen to music, go take a walk, go exercise, go, you know, paint a picture, whatever it is, go play football with your siblings or whatever it is. You do something that you maybe normally wouldn't do, or just take time to just deprogram. We all love social media, we all love being connected, but at the same time, we need to have different things going on for us, and giving ourselves a break from all of that, and really doing something different and out of the ordinary, or something that you enjoy other than that. So, and a lot of teens have given up stuff that they used to do, and so maybe that's a good time to revisit some things you used to like to do. And
Okay.
it's just for fun, right?
Wow. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I hope you were like me and just taking down notes. If you missed something, you definitely want to go back and listen again. But I really, really appreciate that practical that we can even start doing today is when it comes to the anxiety, not stress about something in the past, not stress about something in the future, but to focus on the now. What is it that I can do now? Even if maybe right now it's just, you know, I can, like you said, go paint.
Hmm.
Then okay, that's what
Yeah,
I do in the now.
yeah.
Wow. Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you. So we
You're
talked
welcome.
about a lot. We talked about anxiety, how to better manage that. The mindset and skills and strategy, that really hit me too. The
Hmm.
80% mindset, 20% skills and strategy. Ooh, I'm going to see how I can apply that today.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Exploring the what if, making sure we are being creative, trying something new. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to share with us today?
That was a lot. I think I think that's a lot for our teens to take away and start implementing.
Okay.
Um, but really, I'll just add a little bit extra to that. And so, one of the most important things, I kind of slid it in there, but I'll highlight it here, is really, um, when you're in, if you feel like you're in chaos or you're just not feeling yourself, something's off, just look for a solution and move forward a little bit. Because what happens when we're in anxiety and stress, we're just spiraling.
Mm.
And when you're moving forward, you're making progress, and that it's actually going to make you feel better. It's just a proven fact because you're taking control, you're taking action, and you're finding a solution. So that's the biggest thing that when I work with teens is most powerful for them, because that they can implement immediately. So.
Great. Thank you for that. And Amy, how can our community connect with you? I'm sure there's lots of folks listening that's like, oh, I want more. I want to talk with her one-on-one about my situation. How can they connect with you?
Yeah, so they can find pretty much everything on my website, which is bestinYouCoaching.com.
Awesome. All right, and we will also have that link below in the description notes for those that just want to do the quick click and go right to it. Thank you again so much for taking time out of what I'm sure is a very busy day and schedule to come and talk with us and share these wonderful, very practical, very actionable steps, and even those things for us to take away to think about a little bit more and process and then act on them. Really appreciate you today, Amy.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And I just want to say to the teens, go get them. You guys are awesome. And being an entrepreneur is so rewarding, and go use your creativity and spread it around. Awesome.
Yes. Great. And actually, what Amy just shared ties in with what I tell you at the end of every episode. Remember, everything in creation was created with a gift inside of it. That includes you. So go out and share your gift with the world. Until next time.